Months of practice and preparation have come down to this, the final weekend of the NCAA Beach Volleyball regular season. Today, Southland Conference foes Houston Baptist and UNO will take the court for duel number 1 in the New Orleans Invitational. Get ready, the action comes your way next on CST. Live from the UNO Beach Courts in New Orleans, Louisiana, Cox Sports Television is proud to present the New Orleans Invitational. Right now, we bring you the first of 3 matches as the UNO Privateers take on the Houston Baptist Huskies. Welcome on campus at the University of New Orleans. Alongside former pro beach referee Andrew Beyer, I'm Garrett Walbert. Andrew, a beautiful day set up for some beach volleyball.
It sure is, and we're going into next weekend's national championship. We've got over 60 universities and 4 Division I conferences now sponsoring the sport. Fastest sport to ever come through the NCAA Emerging Sports for Women program. We're excited for beach volleyball.
And we are excited to bring you 3 separate matches today, all on Cox Sports Television. Let's take a look. Leading off our coverage, Houston Baptist will take on the Invitational host UNO. Later in the day, Houston Baptist will take on CCSA member Tulane, and then the Green Wave and the Privateers in a small rivalry matchup will cap our coverage beginning at 6 p.m. Houston Baptist will lead off with their number 1 pair of Jessica Wooten and Ariel Horton.
Yeah, and this pair's played together all year long, got a winning record as the number 1 pair. We're going to see Wooten at the net, Horton in the backcourt. She's got a really nice serve, so it really complements someone who plays as a defender back there. We'll see how they work together.
On the other side of the net, UNO will counter with the Corcoran twins, Veronica and Victoria, but this is a bit of a newer pairing for them.
Just their 3rd match together and only their 2nd at the number 1 pairing. These twins obviously know each other growing up, but they weren't playing together a lot here at UNO. Now they're together, and we'll see how they work together. We got Veronica's going to work as the blocker there, Victoria the spark plug in the backcourt.
Let's take a look at today's weather, brought to you by Cox Home Life. Should be a factor today. The winds very gusty, 20 miles an hour. Current could be as high as 30. And to see how that might play havoc with today's game, let's go to the 3rd member of our broadcast, Tiara Gibson.
Thanks, Garrett. Well, if you've ever played with an indoor ball, these beach balls are a little bit lighter. They play around in the air a little bit, and the wind actually has more of a knuckleball effect. Most teams prefer to serve into the wind due to that, so I'll be interested to see how the wind affects the gameplay today.
A wonderful day on tap, and we're glad that you're aboard. The New Orleans Invitational tips off when we return right here on Cox Sports Television. The New Orleans Invitational on Cox Sports Television is brought to you by Louisiana Cat, your statewide Caterpillar dealer in Louisiana, and by Cox Home Life. In select Cox service areas, Home Life provides a security and automation solution so you can unlock your home's full potential. Visit Cox.com for more details. A beautiful, gusty day here on the lakefront of the Crescent City. We welcome you on campus. The UNO Beach Courts, in their first season of serving the University of New Orleans, will play host to 5 pairs of collegiate athletes today. We're excited to bring you today's coverage. Garrett Walbert, Andrew Beyer, and Tiara Gibson on this broadcast. We have an opportunity to take a look at the pairings, and the top pair that will be the focus of our coverage will be Wooten and Horton for Houston Baptist, and then the Corcoran twins, who will start for UNO. On pair 2, Hinojosa and Armour will battle Sander and Dunn, and then Banks, Fuchs, Frank, and Kuhn will be pair 3. Normally, you don't see a lot of changes from the first 3 pairs. We'll see some action pair 4 and 5 with Lavotai and McDaniel, Levy and Uline, and wrapping it all up, Wheeler, O'Brien, and Miller, Rand. Beach volleyball, like Andrew mentioned in the open, an emerging sport, gaining in popularity. Some people, though, kind of need an update on what the rules are. We have a chance to look over those now, and it's a little bit different than the indoor game. Both schools will play a dual match. You'll have 5 pairs, 2 players apiece. it'll be rally scoring, so every single point will be scored on each serve. Sets 1 and 2, you've got to get to 21 wins or 21 points. Set 3, if necessary, it's the first to 15, and of course you must win by 2. If the first school to 3 pair victories will come away and win the duel. And then, Andrew, there's some other subtle things that are different about the beach game from the indoor game, like if there's a block at the net, you've only got 2 chances to get the ball back over, and some other things.
Yeah, a couple minor rule changes. So you get 3 contacts no matter what. The block will count as the first contact, unlike the indoor game. Also, to equal out the weather, the sun, the wind, and the elements, you'll see the players switch sides quite often during the match, every 7 points in our 21-point sets. And if we go to a third set in 15, they'll switch every 5 points. And then the final real big difference is you'll see a little bit different coaching style. The players are really on their own out there. Obviously, no substitutions in beach volleyball. The coaches won't give a lot of input except during the timeouts. They are very restricted, very similar to tennis, viewers might be familiar with.
Here's Millicent Van Norden, the UNO head beach coach, now in her 3rd year and 15th year overall. As an indoor coach, she has more than 200 wins to her credit. Jan Sander with her, one of the assistants. So Coach Van Norden looking at a roster of 3 seniors, a couple of sophomores, and 6 freshmen. She has 2 players from Louisiana. Andrew, they're 5 and 14 overall on the year. This is their 3rd season. They've certainly made some gains since year 1. I think the sky's the limit for this program.
Well, certainly it's really great to have the courts here on campus. Great recruiting tool. Beautiful day that they get to see what kind of action we can see out here on the lakefront.
You take a look at your screen, it will be the University of New Orleans to your right, the Corcoran Twins, and then Wooten and Horton to your left. Our first serve is underway. And let's start the New Orleans Invitational here on CST. Now the Corcoran Twins will end up losing the first point. Didn't play together for the majority of the year. They've been a come together the last couple of weeks, and they've been successful.
That's right. Coach Van Norden thought she had some other pairings, especially where Victoria she thought would work out well. But after a while throughout the season, put them together, and they're off to a pretty good start, working as the #1 team.
Goes to the back row, and this will be bumped over. Veronica and Victoria from the New Jersey area. Nice save there to get it across. You will see some ferocious rallies and some incredible digs in the sand. Horton and Wooten both have extensive volleyball playing careers. Wooten, an all-conference player, as that one sails long in the indoor game.
And we've already seen the wind play a little bit of havoc with the ball. Teams trying to get used to which way the wind is blowing on this court. They tried their best in warm-ups, but it's starting to gust already at this hour.
Wooten, an all-Southland Conference selection. She was an outside hitter for the Huskies indoor team. She's a 5'11" Houston native. And a little too much hot sauce on that one. That'll go back out of the court, and the Corcoran Twins are quickly behind 3-0. Let's take a look at this replay, Andrew.
Yeah, Wooten gets the ball. Corcoran drops off. Open net for her to swing at. Nice swing by Jessica Wooten.
The Corcorans both lifted at 5'10". The bump, the set, and the kill. That's a pretty shot. And the team watching just on the north side of the court explodes for their first play.
Well, we saw in that play, Victoria makes a really nice pass, and once you control the first contact, the rest of the play is really easy. Not sure that Wooten should have backed off there and gave an open net.
The Corcoran Twins really are the future of the UNO Beach Volleyball program. They played every sport in high school growing up, but they identified beach volleyball as their choice for college competition. That point will go to Houston Baptist, and they've got them doubled up.
Well, there you see a little bit of the beach game. You can always go over on 2, make sure that the other team has themselves set up really early in their defense. See a little sand time out there. That doesn't get charged to the team. Referee carries a towel to help that along.
And now Wooten ready to serve. And an ace for Wooten and HBU.
Nice serve there by Wooten right down the middle. Little communication issues early on there for the Corcoran sisters. They'll have to work on that, call that ball really early.
Service ace followed by a service error. And now that we've added up to 7, they will switch sides. Houston Baptist with an early 5-2 lead on the #1 court.
Well, we'll see they're serving that time into the wind. Sometimes the ball drops. Sometimes it'll go a little bit wide.
Serve comes in, Wooten with the set, gets it over. And the points keep coming for Houston Baptist. They're 11-13 overall on the year. Let's take a look at this replay.
Yeah, maybe a little bit late decision there to drop off by Veronica, trying to get deep in the court, but Wooten's got a nice shot.
Another successful serve for the Huskies. Mentioned they're 11-13 overall. Head coach is Trent Herman. His associate head coach is Cameron Sittler. And the hopes are that Sittler will eventually transition to become the head coach of this program in the next couple of years.
Yeah, like a lot of schools, they are starting off nice and slow, trying to build it right, using a little bit of their indoor resources to build the outdoor program, and then they're going to cut them loose and watch them flourish on their own.
Houston Baptist with 3 graduate students, 4 freshmen. But the thing that sets them apart, they have 7 beach-only players. They've been able to recruit players that grew up playing this sport, and that just adds to their confidence level. Little service error there by Victoria Corcoran.
Well, especially serving into the wind, they're going to have to minimize that. We've seen both teams try to use it, but there's a little bit of a risk-reward factor there.
There's Cameron Sittler, the associate head coach, his first year with that title, last year an assistant. Very nice indoor program for Houston Baptist as well, as UNO comes away with the shot off the hands of HBU.
Victoria, nice shot cross court, getting in front of the block and the defender at the same time.
HBU created their volleyball team from scratch in 2016. They have grown up considerably since then in just a year's time. They're a little bit young, as Coach said, with their on-court experience, Andrew, but they have a large group of veteran indoor players that help lead this team.
Yeah, and they have a few setters who've worked as a setter for many, many years. The setters tend to be the brains of the indoor programs, and it shows in the beach game where plenty of setters like Misty May, a very, very accomplished indoor setter, became one of the greatest outdoor players that U.S. has ever known. And you see there a nice ace off the tape. We'll head to our second side change.
That'll make it 10-4 Houston Baptist. Again, they have to catch just 21 points, and a timeout is called. They'll head back to their respective sides. This is an opportunity for them to talk with their coaches. Like you mentioned earlier, they can't do it during the match.
Well, it looks like they're going to have to think about adjustments really early on here. A lot of teams like to wait till the technical timeout on the third side change at 21 points, but UNO down by 6. They're going to have to make sure that they're on a really good game plan. They know what they want to accomplish when they come out here.
Our live coverage of the New Orleans Invitational continues at 3 p.m. when the Houston Baptist Huskies face the Tulane Green Wave. And then at 6, the Privateers face the Green Wave. Don't miss it right here on CST, your leader in Gulf South sports. Well, I'll tell you what, New Orleans and Houston Baptist both on the way up over the last couple of years when it comes to beach volleyball. I feel like for Houston Baptist, they're going to be able to build around the top 2 pairings. Next year, you'll see Horton and Wooten most likely together again, and then Hinojosa Armour, an indoor player, they'll all be back for 2018. You can certainly build around that.
Yeah, and Wooten actually is a senior on the indoor program, but the way the NCAA rules work, you have 5 years to have 4 seasons of eligibility in any sport you want to play. So she's going to use her 5th year and get 1 season of eligibility extra completed on the beach side. Really nice for her to be able to stay around. So she's kind of listed as a redshirt junior, but played all 4 years on the indoor side.
Not a lot of rest for her. She played last fall indoor and then quickly pick up beach here in the spring of 2017. That one catches the tape again. Corcoran will set up, gets this one over. Great save, but can't feed her partner in Wooten.
Again, a nice pass there by Victoria to start the play. You're going to see that here. Makes the rest of the play really easy. So coming out of a timeout, really important. Get set early, pick up the server. All those cues you need to make a good pass.
Corcoran's break the momentum of Wooten and Horton. And now Veronica will serve. Veronica number 2, Victoria number 3. And it looks like the tape when she made the dive had to be reset. And now we're ready to get back underway.
See Veronica serve and head to the net. She does the blocking for the team.
She was able to tip that one over.
Well, she was there for the block, and HBU set it over, but instead of using a blocking technique, she actually tried to swing at it, and the referee judged that to be an attack. And so the second contact after created the double call.
Very good call. Glad to have you right next to me, former Pro Beach referee.
Easy one there for Mr. Breckeisen to make up on the stand.
Wooten's serve is over. Just enough to get that one up and across. Wooten with the set. Horton finds a little bit of empty real estate, and they'll come away with another serve. How much do you have to make a split-second decision right when you elevate?
Well, it's really one of the toughest things to do in volleyball. Decide what to do with the set. Is it killable or not? And if it's not, what are you going to do with it then? So really one of the toughest skills to master in all volleyball, indoor or outdoor, decision-making at the point of contact.
Horton was a starting libero in high school and the defensive MVP. She also played soccer, softball, and tennis. An elite athlete for sure. That one almost drops, but then back over to the Corcorans. Here's UNO. Again keeping it alive, nice rally. Horton with the set, and Wooten will finish. Goes right after Corcoran, and they'll recover.
Great plays, both sides of the net.
Little long by Veronica, and Houston's lead will grow.
You'll see both teams here try to get the ball short in the court as the blockers back off. Both teams able to come up with some digs. And finally set a little too tight. She's reaching forward. It's the biggest thing we've seen so far, Garrett, is the setting is a little inconsistent. Another one there off the net.
Nice kill over the top. And Horton, who has 4 years of beach volleyball experience at the high school level, shows off her skills.
It's great now that we're a few years into the collegiate sport here. We've seen kids have the opportunity to play some junior, Olympic, AAU, and USA volleyball junior events. They are coming into college prepared to play.
Just off her knuckles, it'll go out of bounds, and the Corcorans with a bit of a rally there.
Yeah, Veronica shows really nice skill there. Cut shot, bringing it along the net and in front of the cross-court digger.
Victoria with the serve, HBU with the pickup. And again, finds open space. That'll prompt our first technical timeout of the match. UNO and Houston Baptist. More to come here in set one when we return on CST. We welcome you back. Houston Baptist with an early lead, 15-6 over homestanding UNO here on the University of New Orleans home courts. The Corcoran twins at the top, the #1 pairing this year, facing Jessica Wooten and Ariel Horton for Houston Baptist over from the Bayou City. We are back underway after the technical timeout. That one caught the line, a big kill over the top for Veronica Corcoran.
Seems HBU's serving mostly Corcoran, Veronica, that is. #2, she's playing on the left side. Again, good pass there, sets everything up. Nice swing down the middle when there's no block.
That's twice after a timeout. UNO has come back to score. Great serve and, a great save, and it gets over. Big block at the top, gets across, and Veronica has back-to-back points for UNO.
Yes, smart play. One team is hustling. The ball's not very high, so an option set here. Veronica can hit it or go for the set to her partner and chooses to go on two and get the quick point.
Coach talked to us about the Corcorans bringing a different skill set to the court. Veronica, explosive hitter, as you just saw. She also has great shot control. She's a primary blocker at the net. Victoria, Andrew, is a better defender. Really, Coach talked about her being the spark plug.
Yeah, absolutely. And you see there, she makes a nice play. Ball goes right over, hits the line. We got a dig and a kill all at one time there.
Natives of Gloucester, New Jersey. And now Veronica ready to serve. Her team has rolled off 3 points in a row. Here's Horton into the back corner, and it's good.
It's a nice shot. Use it all of the court there. Beach volleyball, the defender can usually only concentrate on one side of the court, something he's always given up. The offense's job to find out what that is.
Corcoran twins with a big hit over the top. Chance to finish it, but HBU will keep it alive. Sun comes out from behind the clouds, shining brightly here in the Crescent City. And again, wind gusts has been as high as 20 miles an hour. The rally continues. Block at the net, and it goes HBU's way off the hands of Corcoran.
And we see Horton there win the duel up at the net. Ball set right on top. She made a couple of digs in this rally. Her partner tried to go over there. She makes another one, finally finishes off, pushing it through Corcoran's block.
Well, Wooten's got the size, but Horton certainly has the hop. She is able to finish with authority over that net.
She sure does, and she has seen most of the serves all year long, so she's really used to doing the offense for the team. And there she is there, catching the front of the block, going cross court, another kill for her. She's up to 7 in the first set.
So HBU just 3 points away from taking the first set. You see the sophomore from Waxahachie, Texas, near the Dallas area. Horton working up front here in set 1, and Wooten ready to serve. Wooten says she didn't have a lot of exposure to beach or sand volleyball growing up, but she's taken very quickly to the sport. Coach says she has a great first touch, and she'll get another point there with the big, strong block at the net.
Yeah, and that'll take him into the side change. The Corcoran sisters did a good job on that little sequence of 7 points, but still Horton and Wooten win this one to take a 4-3 advantage on that side change. And they've won all 4 of the side changes so far. Set them up here, go into 21. They're very close on this next one.
You're looking at Jessica Wooten. We talked with Coach during the week. He said she was under-recruited on the beach scene coming out of high school, and she's kind of worn that as a chip on her shoulder. She's had a very successful year and comes away with another point in the backcourt against UNO.
Well, that's just smart, seeing the court, knowing that she can't get a kill swinging there. Good decision. Finds a spot that's going to make it tough for the Corcoran sisters, and in fact gets the kill.
Several aces for Houston Baptist. If they have one here, that'll be the story of the set. Wooten into space. UNO with the big dig. The Corcorans have to get it over to keep it going. Now Houston Baptist with a chance to put it away.
Well, we saw our first hand set there of the match, and sure enough, it was a double contact. I think you see, even in the Olympics, if you've been watching a lot of beach volleyball, you don't see a lot of hand sets out there on the beach. Learn how to set with the forearm pass. Avoid those easy points for your opponent.
We can give her a mulligan. She's an indoor player. They're currently up 20-10. The Corcorans trying to stay alive. They'll set it up, and Wooten finds the back corner. That'll be out of bounds off of Houston Baptist.
Good job by the Corcorans. Keeping that play alive and putting pressure on HBU. Taking a swing from that ball off the net. That's what you want out of your number 1 pair, especially when they're down 20-10. You want to see them compete.
Horton will send that one out of bounds. And Ariel, quick high five with her teammate. They're still at set point.
They got a little bit of momentum. It took them a while to find their way into the match, but certainly after that first early timeout, they settled down pretty quickly.
Little off balance on that set, and the Corcorans make easy work of that mistake. They've rolled off 4 in a row.
And from what is probably considered the weaker side, teams like to serve into the win, keeps the ball in. When you have the win in your back, tendency sometimes is to send the ball long.
You see the players sending signals to each other, and that'll be it. Sent into space by Wooten, and Houston Baptist takes set 1 here in New Orleans against the Privateers. A good first match. We've got one more set coming up. Houston Baptist can take it, or we'll see it extended by the Privateers. You're watching CST. Set 1 favors the Huskies of Houston Baptist. They win 21-13. Andrew, what do you see from these stats in set 1?
Well, they certainly won the serve and pass battle. You see 3 aces to none there. So HBU got that part of their game going, even though you see them start with a service error to start the second set. They also had a block and 5 more kills, so they're scoring a lot of their points. That was 18 of their 21 they scored themselves, so that's a sign of a good team doing everything they need to do to win.
What kind of changes tactically do you expect UNO to make here?
Well, the biggest thing is to worry about the setting. Can we make sure we're giving consistent sets? It doesn't have to be the best set every time, but with these conditions, you have to minimize the big errors. So you're trying to keep the set maybe a little bit shorter, a little bit tighter to your partner, play a little bit of small ball. There you see, keep it nice and close to each other. set up really well, although she had the service error. And hitting into the wind, she's got to make sure she snaps her wrist, takes advantage of that, because that's the game plan they want to execute right there.
UNO head coach Millicent Van Norden, very familiar with the Corcoran's club coach up in New Jersey, Robert Crispy. He led them on Club USA New York. Their decision to play beach instead of focusing on basketball or softball led them to New Orleans.
See a nice swing there from Wooten. When she doesn't have a block to face, she is difficult to stop.
Seems like they're a little bit crisper on their sets, and that's led to some big overhands from Wooten.
Well, and it all starts with the first contact. They certainly have done a really good job taking care of the ball control. Playing every match together throughout the season, their communication is also very, very well honed.
And there's a big kill over the top for the Corcorans. Veronica with the kill.
Yeah, she really brought the heat there. Again, no block. Both teams are facing a little bit of trouble with the wind getting a good set. It's making it just as tough for the blockers to decide whether or not they need to stay or pull back in the defense.
Veronica does a nice job with her shot control. She can be a primary blocker at the net and can really return service without other teams targeting her. So both those players playing with a lot of intensity. That one just catches inside the tape. And a point for Houston Baptist.
You see a little miscommunication here by the Twins. They're in the same area of the court, a little too early. No one's deep.
This is like Horton has eyes in the back of her head. I mean, just an unbelievable play there. That one goes under the net, and another point for Houston Baptist.
Yeah, big block for Horton, so she's dominating at the net. She's doing a great job, and she's also got 2 service aces in the first set. She's doing everything she needs to do to score points for her team.
Horton had early exposure to beach volleyball. She qualified for the Sand Nationals all 4 years with her club team growing up, and coach really heaped a lot of praise on her, saying she just has superior intellect for this game.
Yeah, it's something you learn to do a little bit more on your own as a beach player. You don't have a coach talking to you all the time, no setter calling the plays. You make your own strategy with your partner. Sometimes scout your own opponents, especially at the youth level. They're used to that. They get to know what they need to do to beat the particular team across the net from them.
There's a service error by Horton. The University of New Orleans program now in its 3rd season of play. They went 0-24 in their inaugural season, won 3 games last year. Again, they recently completed these beautiful volleyball courts on campus with another one planned at the end of their facility. They were able to host their first home contests this year, and that's so important to the growth of a program as that one sails long.
Yeah, and in fact, their cross-court neighbors, who you'll see later on today, Tulane, they don't even have a home venue this season. They're working on building one. They'll be back on campus next season.
And, of course, people who would like to add to the program can make donations to the UNO Privateer Club. Just make sure you specialize it for the beach volleyball program and help them grow.
Well, there you see Victoria doing what she does for the Privateers. Spark plug in the backcourt, making the dig, and getting up quick, seeing the court so she can find the open spot and convert that point for a kill.
They brought it back within 1. Chance to tie it up here against Houston Baptist. Here's Horton, elevates, and gets a piece of it just inside the back line and a point. They're back up by 2.
Well, Horton likes this. She served all year long. She knows what to do with those cross-court shots.
I believe Victoria chose not to get a hand on that one, and it just came inside inbounds. Horton again will take it herself, and that'll be out of bounds.
Yeah, opportunity was there. The decision was correct. Just didn't execute that.
You mentioned Tulane not having home courts. They have played in Metairie. They've played in Kenner at some clubs around the Crescent City area, and it's nice to have real estate that's your own, and now New Orleans has that.
They sure do. So, as you said, they opened here against Monroe a few weeks ago, hosting again on the last weekend of the season. The future's looking really good for them as we head to our second side change.
Houston Baptist will serve, leading 8-6. They're up 1-0 on the homestanding Privateers. And Horton goes to the tape. New Orleans will have to play that one, and they'll get it across. Wooten with the set for Horton. Hits that one into the net, but it gets across. It looks like the Corcorans go at other players instead of trying to find that open space. I think they're trying to challenge Houston Baptist a little bit, and they'll come away with a point this time.
And they get the error that time. You see Horton's working her butt off out there in the sun, in the sand. And that play a little too long. She needs one little breather.
Looking to tie it up for the first time in this match. Houston Baptist almost ran away with the first set. Then the Corcoran twins were able to rally some.
Well, UNO had the right idea there. They went right back at Horton, who was a little tired from the previous play. They got her to make an easy shot, but they weren't able to chase it down. A little better anticipation on the defense to make that play.
Veronica with the big kill over the top.
You see here the early decision again. Wooten's going to pull off the net and leave it wide open. No problem for Victoria to put that away.
They pull within one yet again. Chance to tie it here in set 2. Can't get to that ball in open space, and Houston Baptist will take the point. Head coach Millicent Van Norden of UNO was an all-SWAC athlete at Alcorn State. She competed in volleyball and track and still holds the all-time records for most blocks in a career and the most points in a heptathlon. A fantastic athlete for Alcorn in the back of your shot. She's been a head coach at 5 different destinations on the indoor side. This is her first time running a beach program, and I certainly think they're headed on their way up as another point for the Corcorans.
Nice shot deep middle there by Victoria. When you see teams do make that decision really often to pull off, and they're going to defend with 2 diggers in the backcourt, best offensive play is often right down the middle. Nice job by Victoria on the read to make that pickup.
Here's Horton. Goes cross court, picked up by Victoria. She'll get it back. And that one will be out of bounds off the Huskies. For the first time in this match, we've got it tied up and a little bit of momentum now for the Twins.
Well, from the start of the second set, you saw the Corcoran sisters really turn up the intensity and the focus. They didn't get behind on the first side change, and it really made a difference setting the tone for the second two.
You see the emotion between the two sisters. We'll see if they can build on it. We will take our second technical timeout of the match, step aside, and we come back. This very compelling match with UNO on top 11-10 will continue. Set 2 next on CST. The New Orleans Baby Cakes make their debut on CST this June. Tune in Friday, June 23rd, as we bring you 3 games of their series against the Sky Sox starting at 7 p.m. and continuing Saturday at 6 and Sunday at noon. And don't forget the 4th of July celebration when we go poolside at 6 when the Cakes host the Omaha Storm Chasers. For the full schedule, visit our website, coxsportstv.com. New Orleans always with a nice mix of professional, collegiate, international sports. And the college game on display here on CST this afternoon. 2 more matchups later today. We'll hope you'll join us for our wall-to-wall coverage of collegiate beach volleyball. Big kill over the top for Ariel Horton, and Houston Baptist ties it back up after a short-lived lead by UNO.
Horton's got 2 really good shots she's used so far this match. She's got a strong cross-court spike, and she's got that nice jumbo shrimp over the blocker up into the corner down the line. So it really makes it tough for the Corcorans to find both sides of that. And you see there another miscommunication error. I think because they're a new pair, you're going to see them struggle a little bit with that. They just need to talk early and loud.
Here's a service error. There have been a couple of those through the beginning of the match for Houston Baptist. That'll tie it back up at 12 apiece.
And they also have 4 aces in the match, so again, risk-reward there, and their service game is effective.
Horton elevates, and that'll be off the hands of Corcoran, and a point back up on top for the Huskies.
Yeah, good decision there by Corcoran to stay at the net and block. Needs to really dive into that angle with her right hand to take away that power shot that Horton's been showing.
You touched on how they have only been paired for 3 games now as this one goes out. The Twins were elevated to the #1 pairing In their last match against Louisiana Monroe, initially the coach resisted pairing them together. Victoria was on the #1 team with Cara Sonder, and Van Norden thought Saunders' experience and Victoria's intensity would be her most successful pairing. So Victoria's been the #1 for the majority of the season. Now they've elevated Veronica.
Well, it's really nice to see them get back together because they chose to come to school together after seeing another local pair of twins cry when they went off to college, 2 different places. It was great to see them together. We're going to go back to the good side for the Corcorans, down by 2. Let's see if they can win this side change on the good side and tie it back up.
They'll be hitting into the wind. 15-13. The Huskies on top by 2.
Yeah, we've seen on the last 2 side changes, the team that's been on the lake side has scored 5 of the 7 points.
Here's Victoria. Off the hands. Nice save by Horton. Now she'll get it over. That'll be out of bounds off the back line. That'll bring it within 1, 15-14. Huskies on top.
It's time for execution. Both teams can't afford silly errors at this point. Nice pass, nice set. And we see that line shot over the block over and over again. Victoria hasn't been able to chase that down once yet this match, even though she's seen it a number of times. She's going to have to really put forth some effort on one of these plays. Show that spark plug that she is, help them turn it around.
In their last match together against ULM, as that one sails long, the Corcorans forced the Warhawks to a tiebreaker. They are trying not to fall too far behind to Houston Baptist here. They're down by 3. Again, it's 1-21.
And a timeout called. Good decision there. A couple points in a row. Can't afford it at this point in the match. They're going to talk it over with Coach Van Norden.
Interesting to think about what the coaches are saying to their players out on the sand right now. For Houston Baptist, continue executing your game. For UNO, I don't know, do you need to take a couple of chances here to get yourself back in with their 4 points away from taking the set and the match?
Absolutely. It might be something as simple as changing up the blocking strategy. Maybe block the angle instead of the line, maybe set up in the line as a defender. Do something different, give them a different look because they've been seeing the same thing. You've shown them the same defense over and over again. And with the choices and experience that Horton and Wooten both have, they're going to find the open court more often than not.
Let's go to the third member of our team, Tiara. Let's see what they had to say.
Well, Garrett, Coach was talking about the block drops. They haven't been very consistent with it, and they're just going to try to be a little bit more consistent at that. They're going to try to swing better in good situations and finish those rallies, but focus on being more impactful and not necessarily impressive.
Third time today, thank you, Tiara, that they have come out of a timeout and quickly gotten a point. They draw it within 2 here.
Again, they're on the good side now, so if they can score 4 or 5 of the 7 points here, it'll set them up good to really fight hard at the end.
And by the good side, you mean they're hitting into the wind. They really have a chance to kind of serve downhill, hit it as hard as they wish.
Yeah, with a lot of top spin, the wind will keep the ball in, so you can hit it harder, and it's not going to go deep.
Houston Baptist back up by 3 after the point. Kind of a soft serve there by Wooten. Here's Veronica with the kill right into the chest of Wooten.
No attempt at all by HBU to block, and with a good pass right from the start, you see no problem here. Easy kill.
Veronica may have just saved the set there. Need to get a bit of a rally going. You can see the windy day. And the court line needs to be adjusted. Corcoran will take care of that. Let's see what UNO has up their sleeve.
Nice
Here's an
serve.
ace. They'll switch sides. Now a chance to draw it even.
See
Did
her
she disguise
again.
this a little?
A little bit. So she's not jump serving, but she's going to use a little bit of a top spin. She cuts the ball, goes over the top of it with her wrist, and slices it cross court in front of the defender. Very nice. Nice work there. They come right back. Easy pass. Veronica Corcoran still serving.
Horton finds space down the middle of Broadway. And now they're 2 points away from taking the match.
Another decision there not to block. And I really thought on that set, you've got to stay and force her to go around you. With a wide open court, she's going to continue to do that.
A handful of ties here in set 2. HBU looking to put it away, and Horton will do the honors with the serve. The sophomore will stand flat-footed and comes away with an ace. That'll make it match point.
And that's one you see there, serving into the win. Corcoran's not sure if it's going to come down or not. She's backpedaling a little bit there and didn't get a drop set. Really tough for her to make that decision. Partner's got to communicate.
That one floats, and that'll bring the ball back to the Corcorans, who have a chance to tie it up. A reminder that if you take 2 sets, you take the match here. Corcoran's trying to extend it.
Victoria probably going to be aggressive with her serve. Nice and deep, trying to push her back.
Horton with a chance to win it, and she does. Puts it into space, and Houston Baptist will take the set 2-0. You see the players shaking hands. Great show of sportsmanship here on the campus of the University of New Orleans. And our set, our #1 seed pairing, has come to a close with Jessica Wooten and Ariel Horton taking the win. We've got more coming when we return. Stay with us after the break. You're watching Cox Sports Television production of the New Orleans Invitational. Houston Baptist wins the top court matchup 21-13 and 21-19 over the homestanding University of New Orleans Privateers. Tiara Gibson is standing with the victorious associate head coach, Cameron Sittler.
Well, Coach, we saw a lot of really good shot selection out of your team. Is that something you guys came into the game ready for, or was that something mid-match that you adjusted to?
With the conditions, we talk about working the wind in different areas to allow for our shots to fall quicker. Early in the match, we kind of struggled and made long rallies happen. They were extending the play, and then so later in that set, we were able to finish them a little bit quicker with cleaner shots to allow our team to recover quicker and push for the next point.
You mentioned the wind. How much of an impact did the wind have here today?
I mean, I think every beach team is used to no wind. It just changes the way you play. This is probably one of the more windy conditions we faced all season, almost beach-like conditions, so it's good practice, but I think you just have to change the style of play. So we handled it pretty well this match.
Was there anything that you learned from your team from this match?
Being late in the season, you kind of know what you got. What I did learn is they got shook a little bit. UNO pushed some points, made some good plays, and they were able to recover and finish the match cleanly at the end. And so that's a big moment of mental composure.
All right, thanks so much. Guys, back to you.
Tiara, thank you very much. Coach mentioned them pushing the Corcoran Twins, pushing them a little bit. It made for a very good match. Let's take a look at how the dual match wrapped up, a 4-1 victory against the UNO Privateers. Of course, court 1 goes to Wooten and Horton. Hinojosa and Armour were taken to 3 sets, though they came away with the victory against Sander and Dunn. Banks and Fuchs fell to Frank and Kuhn. UNO won the match 2-1
One of
on
UNO's
court
seniors
3.
there. Frank getting a win there.
Nice to see that. Lavotai and McDaniel will get the 2-set win against Levy and Uline, and then again Wheeler O'Brien come out on top for Houston Baptist against Miller and Rand. That's the tale of the tape. We'll have more with our post-game wrap when we return. Again, Houston Baptist victorious today in their matchup against UNO. More next on CST.
Next time you do that to me, I'll be ready.
Louisiana Cat, your statewide Caterpillar dealer in Louisiana. And by Cox Home Life. In select Cox service areas, Home Life provides a security and automation solution so you can unlock your home's full potential. Visit Cox.com for more details. Let's take a look at your match stats brought to you by Louisiana Cat. Andrew, this is a game where the Privateers tried to rally. They tied it up a couple times, but the Huskies really were the overwhelming win.
Yeah, you see they're closing digs there, and certainly in the second set, the Corcoran twins, especially Victoria, did a great job fighting back there and keeping that match close. They really responded well, but the adjustments that HBU made showed up in every statistical category. 20 of those kills for Ariel Horton, who saw most of the serves. Really impressive match for her, including an ace for her. And you see the block and 3 aces there for her partner, Jessica Wooten. Outstanding match for the Huskies.
Houston Baptist wins the dual match. Their team record improves to 12-13 on the year. They'll have a chance to finish 500 later today in this tournament. That should be an exciting part of our broadcast. We hope you'll join us. Thank you for joining us today. Tune in again at 3 p.m. when the Huskies take on the Tulane Green Wave as our live coverage of the New Orleans Invitational continues. For Tiara Gibson and Andrew Beyer, I'm Garrett Walbert. Our final score with the number 1 pair, 21-13, 21-19. Houston Baptist gets the win with Wooten and Horton. And Houston Baptist wins our dual match today over New Orleans, 4-1.